Hey there, this is Mariah with 50 Flowers, and today I'm going to show you how to make a corsage using the Protea Collections box. I think I could make a pin-on or a wrist corsage, and it's going to determine more of what greenery and flowers I use. But I've gone ahead and gathered my supplies. I've got my slap-on wristlet. There's a lot of different options, but this is just what I'm using today. I have my snips, and I've got some nice ribbon, and I've got my green tape. Because this doesn't have any clamps and I'm not gluing, I'm taping, just that's my preferred style of designing. I'm very comfortable with it. I am going to pre-cut some ribbon and go ahead and put it into these slots. But these are also a great wristlet to use if you are gluing, because you glue it right onto this plastic piece here, and it makes it super easy to get on and off and fits almost every wrist. So I'm just gonna cut maybe some 6-inch sections here. And I've got this nice lime green ribbon to kind of match the color palette of my Proteas here. And the slap band has some nice little holes on the side. And I'm just gonna pull it through, tie it in a knot, and that is how I'm going to tie my corsage down onto this little band. And I'm also paying attention to which way it bends for where I tie this knot right here. I'm just gonna repeat that on the second side. There we go. Now I've got my wristlet ready, prepared, waiting for a corsage to go onto it. I like to do it that way as well so that I can show you how to make a pin-on and then how to turn that pin-on into a wristlet, so that whatever someone's preference is, whether to pin it to their clothes or if they'd rather not and just wear it on the wrist, that makes it super easy to go either way. So with a corsage, it's like a boutonniere but bigger. There's more flowers to it, it's grander, it's just awesome. So I'm definitely not gonna use anything this big because that's just gonna be too intrusive for a pin-on corsage or a wrist. It's gonna get really heavy, and already most corsages get a little heavy at the end of the night. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with my greenery. I like to lay a nice greenery base, and then I like to build the flowers on top of it. I really love this texture and line, and I'm using the tips like this because it helps create that line stay compared to something like that. It's not gonna lay as beautiful. Granted, if I put some flowers right there and it's got those going that way, but I like that this has a taller point right there, like that. All right, so I've got that, and I'm even gonna pull in some other greenery like that. Strip it down, give it a cut. Then we're gonna layer it like that. And I think I'm gonna tape right there, so I'm gonna remove that because I don't want any greenery laying under my tape. It's gonna make it bulkier. So I'm gonna pull this one, and I'm only gonna use the top part of the stem, so I don't need to use any of that greenery there. And I'm gonna lay it just like that. And that is the beginning of our corsage. Give it a cut and tape it together, laying that base with your greens and starting the line of your design. So the other Proteas I have here are these awesome Cream Delights, and they've got an amazing color and texture to them. And I'm gonna cut and just start placing like that. And I'm gonna tape with about every stem, just because corsages I want a little more control on the design than a boutonniere because I'm making it bigger, and I need it to be fanned out because when it's on a wrist, you want it to be like a really nice fanned out shape. And I'm even gonna pull in a little bit of this silver dollar. And what's great about this is you don't need a whole lot, you don't need a whole stem, and you can come and you can pull these little offshoots of the branch and I'll lay them like that. So they're gonna lay on the wrist almost like underneath, but they're gonna fan out on the bottom of it and create an amazing like lily pad feature on your design here. So go ahead and tape those. Great. They're kind of like a bow. Since I'm not going to use much ribbon on this, just for how I'm feeling inspired on this design, I don't feel like this is a very bow needing design. I am gonna kind of mimic that look with these little stems here. And the other thing about corsages is you want to like layer your greens and your flowers as you go so that it creates that bushy full effect. That always used to blow my mind before I got into flower design. I had no idea how they did it without it just growing naturally like that. And that is how you create that look, is to layer your greens through the design so that your blooms have something to lay on top of. So there we go. And I'm also, so I placed this acacia over here. Now I'm gonna place it over here to make it so it's not all just one-sided, it's segmented. I want it to look a little more free-flowing and evenly dispersed. So I'll go ahead, tape that on. All right. Next, I'm gonna add some more of these little proteas. And I'm just gonna keep repeating that process over and over again until I get, I'll probably use about 3 of these proteas. Alright, I'm not gonna use any more of these because these heads are getting a little too big and long for a corsage. I like this one at the top because, again, if it's a pin-on or a wrist, it's creating that first line, but anymore it would start to get too bulky. So I'm just gonna keep repeating this process until I get exactly where I want. Layering my greens as I go. I'm just about to the end of this design. So if you want to leave it as a pin-on corsage, go ahead and just add your tape right there. Add your ribbon right there and pin it on to whomever. But if we're going to attach it to a wristlet, you just come and you lay it right on this. And I like to secure it in 2 places. I'm gonna do a ribbon through the middle here, and I'm gonna do a ribbon down here. Before you attach it to the wristlet, go ahead and add your ribbon on top of the tape. I just like the way that looks a little bit better than just leaving the green tape, but it's all personal preference. So I'm gonna think about how this is gonna lay once this is like this. So if this is on my wrist, do I want it to lay like this? Do I want it to lay like that? Like that? That's all personal preference as well. And I think I'm a little bit more of a diagonal person just because of how I move. So I am going to take this top ribbon segment here. I'm gonna bring it through right into there. Hold on, gotta prepare myself for this. All right, so that's gonna go down there. And I'm gonna go ahead and just secure this bottom one right now because that is easy to do and it will lock it into place. So I'm not fighting myself on this top one. And you could do a bow here, or you could just give it a tie, whatever you prefer. And then I'm gonna bring this ribbon into the middle here. And these greens and flowers are super hardy, so I'm not hurting them while I do this. But just make sure you kind of move everything out of the way so nothing gets crushed. Let's see, how does this leaf? Okay, I'm gonna get around that and in front of this chameleon protea. I'm gonna bring this one in the same direction. All right, making sure I'm not gonna tie this onto any stems directly. I am going to go ahead that down in there. Okay, you could give a decorative little snip to your ribbon here. Okay, that is how to make a Protea corsage. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can see more awesome content like this. I love interacting with you guys and bringing you fresh new concepts. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.